Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm Sarah Balascio, board certified art therapist at the Wellness Center here with our virtual creative arts therapy group. And today we're going to be focusing on drawing. Each week we're going to focus on a different medium. This first week is drawing. So all you'll need is something to draw with, preferably pencil and pen, or fine point markers if you have those for today, and something to draw on paper. So I'm going to start by reading you our consent form. So here we go. This doesn't really always apply to art therapy, as you'll see, but that's okay. So in order to make these classes as freely accessible as possible to our participants, we will be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of the class. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure that you have moved nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you are participating in a yoga class or a class that involves laying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice or care as needed. William & Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommend that each participant have an annual physical exam and follow the advice of your healthcare provider before participating. So that's our waiver. And like I said, today we're going to be doing drawing, and I'm calling today's class Signs of Summer. So what I want you to do now is think of a symbol in your mind of summer, an image of something, and not a full landscape, but one image. And then I'll explain what we're going to do. And if you feel inclined and want to interact in this way, you could type in the chat various ideas. It doesn't have to be yours, but what I picked is a honeybee. So other images I thought of were like a giant sun, or maybe some strawberries. Strawberries are so yummy this time of year. Or, I was thinking a sailboat. So, somebody wrote in the chat. Yay, thank you for participating. Martha, waves. Ooh, I like that. So that's good. Yeah, something to do with water. What else? Like, even could be a cute image of like a popsicle. But again, a beach ball. Thanks, Cindy. That's really cute. So, and I'll show you why in a minute, but you want one image that has sections to it. And what I'm going to do, I'll show you my start of my honeybee. And some of you may have done this in our class before. We're going to do something called Zen Doodle. So let me show you my example down here. I hope you can see it. I think you can. All right. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that well? Because I had to kind of fold down my laptop. Can everybody see my honeybee drawing? Oh, cool. Thank you. I love all this techie stuff. So here's the start of my honeybee. I'm going to add more to it. And what I want you to do is not a lot of single lines, but instead shapes. So see how this back leg is actually just a line? Make all your, whatever they are, sections or things, lines into sections, I'm sorry, is what I meant to say. So like this other little leg here, and you can go ahead and start your drawing, but like I said, make it less of a scene and more of an object. And a tip I always like to give is whatever you're drawing, what I normally do, I do feel strongly that anyone can be an artist. If you've ever come to my groups, the projects are always very easily doable. They're not, my whole thing is anyone can be an artist. And one of my pro tips is whatever I'm drawing, like for example, for this, I go on Google and I type up, and you can even do it on your phone or something next to you, honeybee. I think I Googled like simple honeybee drawing, and that's what I use. So say you wanted a beach ball, you just go type in beach ball drawing, and because I need to look at things. I can't just poof, draw a honeybee. and it's really helpful. So that was what I looked at to base this from, and then of course I add other things. So as I was saying, you're going to take your pencil. You have to start with pencil. Sorry, forgot to mention that. Start with pencil. Then you're going to, whatever you're making, make sure it's shapes and not lines. What else did I want to add? I think I'm going to add the stripes, so the different sections on the sky. Going down here. All right. Maybe I'll add one more leg up in the front here. So putting on these finishing touches, and then I'll explain the next part of what we're going to do. I don't know if you guys can hear my kids outside hooting and hollering. Sorry if you can. Okay, so I think that's going to be done for now. So, but you keep going. I'm just going to explain a little bit the next part, or you could take a break. It's up to you. So basically, we're going to do something in art therapy called a Zen Doodle. And basically what you do is draw an image, and then inside of it, do various line patterns. So when you go into the Zen, and I'll show you some examples of that. When you go into the Zen Doodle part, each portion of this honeybee, or whatever it is you pick, will be a different line pattern. And we're going to do that with either a pen, or I happen to have a green fine point Sharpie. So if you have a pen or whatever, and each area will be a different pattern inside of it. So like the main head will be a pattern, and then the eyes. Okay, now I want to show you my pro tip for Zen Doodles, and you'll see why the name is Zen Doodle, because people find it really very relaxing. So I'm going to screen share because I want to show you what I do. So Zen Doodles are essentially, I'll start down here with one, line patterns over and over. So I'm going to show you in his head, let's say, in this first eyeball. I'm just going to do a repeating diagonal line. So there's, I'll move my hand so you can see it. So there's the repeating diagonal line there. Now in the center of his head, I'm going to do a different one. So here I'll do maybe a zigzag, a repeating line pattern. Now you don't have to just keep coming up with these on your own. I'll show you another tip. You can, again, Google on your phone, and I'll show you some examples. So you stay inside, each shape has a different line pattern. And it's important that you do the base drawing with pencil, and then you do the line patterns with something permanent, because what we'll do then at the end is erase all the pencil, and it's really neat. So I wanted to show you by screen sharing. Screen share. Okay. Hi guys. I'm going to show you what I had pulled up. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Before. I thought I had, oh, right here. Yeah. So all I did, let me move this out of the way. All right, all I did was go to Google and type in Zen Doodle Patterns. And so this is kind of what ours is going to look like, but it's not going to have the outlines. Well, it's kind of different, actually, you'll see. But it's more like this lotus, I guess. Okay, so then you can just go and look at all. You could click on any of these and see the different patterns. Now, some of them are very intricate, and that's up to you how much detail you want. But like, you can just do circles. You can do some sort of stripes. Hash marks is a really good one too. Little like repeating lines like this, wavy kind of fingerprint like things. But there's, oh, that's neat. There's lots that you can find if you feel stumped. But just basically create a line. It could even be something like this, and keep repeating it within each shape of whatever your sign of summer was. So I'm going to go back to stop sharing. Here we are. Okay. And you can follow along. I'll show you mine for a bit more. You can follow along with my drawing. Does anyone have, you can type any questions you have into the chat, and in probably about 10 minutes or so, I will stop the recording and we can all interact and share and talk a little bit. Oh, somebody's waiting. Let me admit this person. Okay, so let me show you my example. And I'll just keep going with it. So we just had someone join. I just want to update you what we're doing. We're doing something called a sign of summer. So pick any image, drawing, or symbol you can think of that for you feels like summer. Excuse me. I picked a honeybee. And then without using just plain lines, but instead creating kind of shapes for the lines. So you see how these arms and antenna could have just been a line. I actually make them into a shape, okay? And then what you'll do, and you can watch me now, so you do the overall first drawing in pencil of the object, then you're going to grab a pen or something more permanent to write with to create shapes, I'm sorry, repeating lines inside of them, or a Zen Doodle as we call it. So I'm gonna, and as I told other people at the start, the beginning of this is recorded. You're not recorded, but in probably about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we're going to turn the recording off and we can interact a little bit more. But I want to show you, you can follow along with mine. Feel free to type in any questions you have, or you can hold them until we turn the computer off. But you can see here, I'm just doing now, repeating circles in this other portion of the eye. I guess I'll have to do something pretty tiny in these antennas. So whatever you consider a sign of summer, some people gave a few examples. Today is a good day for it. It's a doozy out there. It's going to be 95, I think I heard. So maybe I'll do some broken lines on this side. I do a few broken lines, dashes, those are fun. And then I'm gonna move on to this main part of the body. Remember, you don't outline each section. You just fill in each section with some kind of line pattern. And that's called Zen Doodle. And like I said at the start, you can Google Zen Doodle Patterns, and there's so many there, but you guys probably can come up with a bunch of your own. So I think what I'll do is that one we had just seen. It's kind of like a rectangular type of maze-ish thing. But I hope that you notice the feelings of why it's called Zen Doodle. People find it super duper relaxing, especially probably just because it's repeating lines. There's something very soothing and meditative about that. I find art in general very mindful, at least for me, because I tend to just focus on this image that's just right here in front of me. And the very simple sort of steps and options that go along with the drawing, rather than all my usual things in my head and my to-dos and this and that. So I need one more pattern here. Before we'll turn the recording off and we can interact more. What's a good one? How about I'll do some checkers. Those are fun. So your pattern can also involve large sections being colored in like this, you'll see. So try to, as best you can, break up your overall image into into shapes, kind of how I did for this honeybee, right? So I'm doing checkers here. And it's important to not outline the shapes and to do the first step of drawing the object in pencil. And that's because, and I'll show you in a minute, what we're going to do is erase all the pencil. And now you won't get the full effect for the recording because I'm going to, I won't be finished, but I'll show you how it looks so far. Oh, also, big warning, what I've done before is it didn't dry and then I erased it and got all messed up. So I think, hopefully this is pretty dry, but I'll just show you maybe even just with the head here. So then what I do is erase my original pencil. Ooh, I like how those antennae turned out. That's neat. So anywhere where you had pencil, I'm not going to erase too much further, but I'll show you. Anywhere where I had pencil, you can see it looks really pretty neat. So with that said, I'm going to now end the recording portion, and we can turn our cameras on and our speakers on and interact more. But for the recording portion, here we are with our Zen Doodle signs of summer. And if you ever wanted to see any of these, they do get posted. You know, if you missed some, or if you feel like doing art someday and you need some inspiration, they're all posted on the William & Mary Virtual Wellness Center YouTube. So they're all there. With that said, take care.